This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. This is Global Tel Link. You have a collect call from
PERRIE.
an inmate at the California State Prison, Los Angeles County, Lancaster, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Booyah! Back at you, Motivation Motors, where we speak to inspirational Black people that have overcome adversity en route to prosperity. Say what up, Queen.
Hey.
Yeah. Another monumental episode of Motivation Motors. And we got, this is really big right here. We got my man, PERRIE Thompson. He's the author of Striving for Failure, the reality of gangs, jails, and coffins. You know what I'm saying? He's currently serving 25 years to life, but my man will be getting out very soon. Praise the Allah, praise the God. Say what up, PERRIE Thompson. Say what up, baby.
What's going on, man? Glad to be here. Thank y'all for this opportunity. And I'm very excited for this this moment right here.
Thank you, brother, for being here. Now, like I said, me and this is really, I mean, I'm kind of speechless after reading this manuscript, man. This is a bona fide read and manuscript for anyone. I wouldn't even say people that are currently getting incarcerated or getting into trouble. This is for any type of young dude, man or woman that is uncertain about their life and what direction that they're going into. And that's actually every teenager should definitely read this book. Do you agree, Queen?
I do. I mean, you think, I want to give too much away because y'all need to read it, but you think that it's going to be about people, you know, trying to be initiated to a gang, but it's so much more than that. Because even me reading it, you know, I've never been affiliated with a gang or anything like that, but there's a lot of little bits of information that I can relate to my own life. So that was crazy.
So PERRIE, so basically we're gonna get right into it, man. And PERRIE, you are currently in Pelican Bay, am I correct?
No.
You're not in
Pelican Bay.
Okay. All right, cool.
In a prison in Los Angeles County.
Okay, got you, brother. So you know what? Let's dive right into it, man. Give us your background into who PERRIE Thompson is. Let us know who he was before prison.
Okay, well, you know, I grew up in South Central LA. I grew up in a household environment where gangs, drugs, violence, all the type of stuff, you know, was normalized from practically birth for me. And around 12 years old, I decided to join a gang. You know, it was a regular thing in my community going around me. And, you know, I was out there doing all the things that I shouldn't have been doing at a very young age. And, you know, I went out there and took someone's life. And they landed me in here at 17 years old. And every day I've been trying to, you know, better myself, change the person I was, you know, because growing up in that environment, I had developed some I want to say traits, some defective traits.
That's right.
You know, that had my mind believing in things that weren't true. And when I say that is, I'm talking about the gang. You know, I joined the gang looking for, you know, when I wasn't getting at the household, you know, my family and my parents, you know, they were going through their own things, and I wasn't getting the nurturing I need. So I went out and I found it in the streets. And, you know, that false sense of love, you know, it had me out there, you know, trying to prove myself.
Right.
And I landed myself in prison. And now I'm trying to prevent our youth from following in my footsteps after sitting in here for years and having a chance to, you know, see life go by at a standstill. And, you know, I've learned and educated myself, and I now understand that my whole life and dedication to the game was the title of my book. I was striving to be a failure. And that is what motivated me to write this book, man.
Okay. Queen?
Wow. How old are you, Perry? How old are you right now?
I am 33 years old, and I have been incarcerated since I was 17.
So you've spent half of your life incarcerated.
Yes. Yes, sir. Going on 16 years, man.
Going on 16 years. So, I mean, like I've told you when we spoken off camera, I actually have a cousin myself that's actually in the same boat that you're in. He got locked up at 17 by way of the murder that he committed. And but you know, he has 6 years to go, you know, praise the God that he will be coming home one day. And like I said, you also will be coming home one day, for real. Because like I told you, the message that you have and energy and the spirit you have, brother, has to be out here. You understand? You know, I tell, you know, I'm a college counselor and I speak to students every day, you know, and I really feel like they really have to, not them per se, the person that is on their way to prison or the person that is in prison, they have to hear from you. You understand? They have to hear from a person that has actually been in the trenches. You understand? But that has also seen the light at the end of the tunnel. You understand? For real. So, you know, it's crazy. Reading this book, when you first got to prison, what was the mindset? What was your mindset like when you first got there?
Oh, when I first got to prison, I was still in the gang mindset. I was still in the gang mentality. I'm finna go here and I'm finna continue to earn my reputation. I was still caught up in that false sense of love and loyalty to the gang. And then going to prison so young, I also felt that, you know, the more loyal to the gang, the more safe I would be in prison. And at 20 years old, my first time in prison, they sent me to the worst prison in California, in Pelican Bay State Prison.
Wow. And when you say the worst prison, why do you label that as the worst prison?
Because, you know, Pelican Bay has you know, a history of a lot of violence. You know, there's a lot of it's called segregation as far as the races there. There's a lot of politicking. You know, there's things that if I took the time to explain to you, will be like, that is crazy. You know, the things that were going on at that prison.
Right.
And you know, I was young. 20 dropped me there, and the mentality was, you know, I gotta continue to go hard to protect myself in here. And within probably about the first 5 months, I found myself in the infirmary. I was in a riot with the white boys, and officers ended up shooting me in the head with something called a block gun, knocked me out.
Wow.
I ended up in the infirmary, and that was early into my prison system. And that was one of the moments where it first hit me like, man, you in trouble. You're in trouble. At first, going through the juvenile halls and county jails, you know, I had some incidents. But once I landed in Pelican Bay, and that incident happened to me, that's when it all started the life sentence, the being in here and the gangs and what are you doing and you're hurting your family. That's when all that stuff, all those emotions, when I was landing at infirmary, I had stitches in my head. My whole head was swollen. I was going through it. And that was one of the first moments in prison that it started to hit me like, man, you in trouble, man. You trying to do this for the rest of your life?
Right.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Like, once you're initiated, there's no getting out. Like, once you're in the game, you can't get out. So how did you get out? How did you?
Good question.
You know what I mean? How did you step out of that?
Well, I won't say that I ever got out. You know, I grew up around there. You know, so and I'm from. I was from a very large African American gang that, you know, has been in that area for a long time. So my family are members of the gang. So when I decided to, you know, walk away, I ended up being in a fight with a guy over it, but I didn't get the backlash that some people would think because of my family is all from over there. And,
Got you.
You know, is you know, people also agree with what I'm doing. You know, some of the gangbangers over there agree with what I'm doing. They see me trying to change my life, and you know, you'd be surprised. Some of them actually encourage me to, you know, continue to doing what I'm doing. But my life is always in danger though, being in prison and no longer from a gang. Like I can go to the yard right now, like everything is good, nothing had to happen, you know, but nobody has ever like approached me like, so you ain't down with the gang no more.
Right.
That incident has not happened yet. Like I've had people see me fall back and do me, and they, you know, say things to me, but I ain't had nobody actually confront me. And until I get out of prison, there's no telling if that moment will come.
So do you, man, I got 1,000 questions to ask you, brother. I'm just trying to narrow it down to one. So are you saying that once you verbally, well, you know what? Let's not even get to that question. Let's get to the part of the book. You know what I'm saying? When you said you met one of the top dogs and the top guys within your gang or your set, if you will. And what was that interaction like when you met this guy, this older gentleman?
Well, it was life changing for me because this guy is like glorified in the neighborhood my whole life. This guy been in prison before I was born. And, you know, when I got to meet him, I was thinking I was going to meet, you know, this big honcho who was strong, you know, confident, walking around with his chest poked out. And that wasn't who I met. I met a older, fragile guy who had been in prison over 30-something years. And
wow,
his whole family had passed away, from his mothers to his fathers to all his siblings. And he didn't have much going on. He actually asked me if I can lend him a bag of coffee. And he was just telling me how, you know, everything I was doing, how you hear my name in the neighborhood and all that, none of that stuff means anything. Nobody take care of me. It's just, you know, people like to throw my name out there to make themselves look good. But, you know, in all actuality, I have failed, you know, and he let me know to not do what he's doing. Like he told me not to continue to dig a grave. I didn't put this part in the book, but I actually had a talk to him because there was an issue going on in the yard. And my name came up, and I was at the point of my time where I had just got out the hole. I wasn't trying to do anything, but my name came up. And
real quick, for them young cats that don't know what the hole is, please explain to them what the hole is, brother.
Oh, the hole is when you commit a disciplinary infraction. They're gonna send you to a cell where, you know, you're isolated from everyone else, and pretty much nothing in the cell but you know, in them walls, and think about the violation you committed. So yeah, I did 18 months in the hole.
By yourself.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So what do, and I want you to continue to tell me the story with about you and the older gentleman, but when you're in a predicament where you are in this hole, quote unquote, for 18 months, what is going through your mind on a day-to-day basis, brother? You have no one to speak to. You have no one to throw your feelings and your emotions out to. You have nobody to be angry with. What goes on in your mind when you're in that predicament?
Books come from it. The striving to be a failure come from that. You know, sitting there and you know, just thinking like that. That's the hole is where a lot of the material came from the book. Cause me sitting there thinking like, and just, you know, look at all the stuff that I done to end up where I'm at. Like I thought I was, you know, going hard to become someone.
Right.
And now look at me. I'm sitting in this hole. You know, my mom wrote me, asking me, you know, why are you in the hole again? Why you keep messing up? And, you know, it's just me. I was battling myself. I used to beat myself up a lot. Like, look what you did to your life. You got yourself life in jail trying to be hard. And that used to eat at me. You know, I used to be like a real depressed person in prison. Like how you see me, I got a little enthusiasm now.
Right. I can't see you as a depressed person.
In the beginning, I had a image on like I was super hard in prison. But behind closed doors, when I'm in that hole by myself, I was broken. and I was trying to, figure this whole thing out. But those are some of the thoughts that, go through my head when I was in the hole.
Got you.
Oh my
So
God.
you were saying when you met the older guy, where did this I don't mean to cut you off, Queen.
No,
Where did
no,
this
go ahead.
transformation come? Where did this epiphany come? Like, yo, this is bull.
Well, to make a long story short, they wanted me to handle some business fresh out the hole. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
This prison,
Are you serious?
yes.
Mm.
And because he was on the yard, he was actually one of the dudes that told them to leave me out of it because I just got out the hole.
Wow.
And me still, trying to prove myself still. I was telling him, if push come to shove, I'm still willing to go. And he told me, you cannot continue to dig a hole. He said, you already got a life sentence. He said, everything you doing here is going to keep on adding to it. When you decide I want to be good and try to get out of prison, all this stuff you doing is going to come back. And I noticed that, like, right now, I believe I would have been out of prison if I wasn't up there doing all that stuff in Pelican.
Right.
But I was young, it was a learning lesson for me. But when I walked away from that conversation, he made it clear to me, look, all that going hard, you're gonna end up like me. You're gonna be sitting here old, fragile, family dead, and you're gonna be looking for answers, and then ain't gonna be no answers. The only answers is you